This is, I believe, the fourth video for algebraic expressions 1.01. And we are talking about substitution now. And so first, what we want to remember is that a variable in an expression is simply a letter, it's a symbol that holds the place for some unknown value. We don't know the number that it represents. And so sometimes we will explicitly say, this is what the number represents. And then we can use substitution to evaluate. So let's talk about that. We use substitution. And so we want to make sure that we understand what that is. So when two quantities are equal, and a way to think of that is like x equals 4. That's one way to think of, that's one example of two quantities that are equal. The quantity x is equal to the quantity 4. Right? And so if two quantities are equal, one quantity may be put in the place of the other quantity. And the value of the expression does not change. All right, so that's the definition of substitution. And so we are going to look at some examples where we're going to substitute and then evaluate. So let's look at the first example. So we have 2x minus y minus 3z. And now I have to tell you, right now we don't know what the values of x, y, and z are. So I'm going to say x equals 4, y, oops, I did a y here. I should have done z. Sorry about that. Y equals -3, and z equals -1. So now I can replace x, y, and z with their values here and then evaluate using the order of operations. So starting out, we have 2 times the quantity x, because 2x says multiplication, so 2 times 4, minus, and I'm going to put this in, I notice that I substitute in parentheses in all of these, and then minus 3, and z is -1. Now, I can do the order of operations, PEMDAS, parentheses. Well, there are no parentheses to do there. So exponents, no exponents. Then multiplication and division from left to right. So right here is my first multiplication, 2 times 4, that's 8. And as long as the multiplication and division aren't connected, we can do other multiplications and divisions at the same time. But I'm not. I'm going to just leave everything the same at this point and just do one step at a time. So now, again, no parentheses, no exponents. Multiplication, here's -1 times -3. So you may not recognize that as multiplication. You can also just think of it as the opposite of -3, but it is actually -1 times -3, and that is going to be a +3. Negative times a negative is a positive, so this is going to be 8 plus 3, and then -3 times a -1. Lastly, we have -3 times -1, which is +3 again. So we have 8 plus 3 plus 3. And each of these are equal to the other. And finally, now we no more parentheses, no multiplication, nor division. We just have addition and subtraction, just addition. From left to right, 8 plus 3 is 11, plus the last 3, and 11 plus 3 is 14. and that is evaluating this original expression with these quantities substituted in. All right, so that's the way evaluating expressions works. You want to make sure that you do some practice problems in the lessons that are there. But that is all I'm going to do for evaluating expressions.